My name is Dr. Obire. I'm the President, Good Leadership Advocacy for Africa, um, a governorship candidate in the last election in Delta State, the CEO and President of Hatfield Group. I am married. I have children. Good governance is selfless service to the people. That's the simple definition of good governance, where the interest of the people comes first before the servant leader and not the other way around. But today in Africa, it's a terrible situation. We thrive on immediate gratification, personal um, aggrandizement, and who is around me. And this is not right. This is why GLAFA is doing what we can to see that the hands of things are changed for the better, because it is time for Africa to rise. It is time for Africa to be self-sustaining. It is time for Africa to look inward. We have everything, anything you can think of, from human resources to mineral resources to God-given blessings and all that. It all boils down to selflessness. When you talk about advancing your economy, you must first of all look inward. What do I have to put on the table? A lot is going on in this country and indeed across Africa. You just heard of a coup that took place recently, and these are some of the things we're going against. Um, I'm doing my best to reach out to some of the regional bodies, the AU, and all that, to see how we can mediate and see the possibility of democracy returning back to Guinea. Coming back home to Nigeria is a pathetic situation. Now, the most painful part of it is we have our youths who are actually uh, the the most affected when it comes to bad leadership. They are the ones orchestrating. They are the ones clapping hands. They are the ones making the calls for some certain people who are not supposed to be in place of governance to remain there, or be put in there, or be back to such places. Now, we know that there is hunger in the land. Everybody has become have come to terms with the fact that let me just hold what is available now. This is the system which I refer to as systematic slavery that our leaders are using to keep the youth perpetually for their use. Now, let's go back to your initial question.
Yeah.
We're talking about doctors on strike.
Yeah.
We're talking about the country borrowing.
Yeah.
I am an economist. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a capitalist. I don't agree with what the federal government is doing when it comes to the issue of borrowing. We don't really need to borrow. In some of the things we borrow to fund, these are things that can bring in foreign direct investment into Nigeria. Look at the rail system.
Yes.
These are the things that will create job for the youths of this country. If I were the minister of transportation, I wouldn't go that route. Yes, I'll do my assessment, do my feasibility study, my homework, and I call those. I go to China, I go to other places. Transportation, rail transportation is big business in Nigeria. These are my projections. Take a look at them. If you find it worthy, come in with your investment, build rails, run it for 30 years, and leave the infrastructure for us. Collect your money, pay your tax, and leave the infrastructure. Employ our youths. From the beginning of construction to the 30 years of operation, our youths will be engaged. They will pay tax to federal government. They will collect their money, and we will regulate the transportation system. So it's not this kind of rails that are breaking down that you will see here. You will see high-speed rails because they actually want to make money. But when you go and borrow, they refurbish trains that are phased out, and you bring them in here as new coaches. Now we are having them breaking down on the road. At this time of high insecurity in the system, it doesn't make sense. So these are some of the areas we need to look at as a people, as a nation. We must not think about ourselves, what we can gain, but we should look at the side effects of our today activities. Doctors are on strike. In this era of pandemic, doctors are on strike. And all the government can talk about is no work, no pay. Does it make sense? No work, no pay, and people are dying every day. We spend money on humanitarian services that has no economic value to the people, and the health of the single Nigeria is put into dispute because of the activities of the government and the medical association. It doesn't make sense. I think we are putting more of our interest on things that are not really important, leaving things that are important.
Wow.
Good Leadership Advocacy for Africa is a regional body that intervenes in the areas of governance. We interface with 54 countries that made up the African continent. The regional bodies like ECOWAS, AU, and others, we interface with them and see how we can make Africa rise up to its responsibility, make Africa more independent and a destination where you'll be seeing people saying, I want to go to Africa, not Africans saying, I'm going to America, they don't actually have what we have. They need us more than we need them. But because of the bad leadership we have in Africa, this is the reason the African man is thinking of greener pasture abroad. There is nothing greener there. There's nothing pasture there. Or the work you will not do here, you will go there and do it and you'll be smiling. It doesn't make sense. The best hands in medical, the best hands in engineering, the best hand in many fields in these places you mentioned today, America and all these places, are Nigerians. They are Africans, Ghanaians. So, what makes them special is because they have good governance, a system that is working in place. Why can't we have a system that works in Africa? We can actually have that. If our leaders can wake up someday and go selfless, that yes, we can make things right. They all travel. They all say things the way they work there. But here, when they return back, I don't know whether it's a plague, a spiritual plague, but when they come back to the same system that they left behind to enjoy the beautiful system that is working abroad. How do you reconcile a president of a country leaving the country for medical checkup abroad? Have you seen Joe Biden, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, Obama, and all that? Cameron, and even when the Prime Minister of UK had COVID, where was he? He was in UK. Have you? But let a president have COVID here, the next minute is flown abroad. Why? Because they know that they are not doing the right thing here. They are afraid that they can be killed by people that they entrust their life to. There's a lot of insecurity everywhere, not just about those holding guns and all that. Even the health insecurity, even the food they eat, they can't eat where you and I eat because they are afraid that somebody must have poisoned the food. Why are you afraid? Because you know you're not doing the right thing. So they going abroad is not because they have the most. We have so much money in Africa. We can create this standard world class hospitals in across Africa, invite them in and pay them for their consultancy services while they train our doctors. After 2 years, you leave. The doctor that is trained takes over from there. We can build Africa of our choice, Africa of our dream, Africa that we all look forward to and say, yes, I am an African. You getting what I'm saying? Look at what you're wearing. It's beautiful. This is African fabrics used to make. Yes, why can't we wear this? But everybody wants to wear Gucci. This, that. Is that African? No. Are they going to wear African dress abroad? No. It's still we Africans that wear Africans abroad. You will not see American man waking up someday that he wants to wear what I'm wearing now to work. It's not possible because it's not his tradition. But this is our tradition. Why do we import traditions and we cannot export our tradition? It means we are not sure of ourselves. The governments have failed Africans. But we can get it right if the African youth wake up and say, let's do the right thing. I will end it there. I would say it's a welcome development, and secondly, it only give me the encouragement to push harder for my quest to see a work in Africa. So it's a great encouragement from you people, and it also shows that there are people that also see the quality of the mindset I have towards the country Nigeria and also the Africa in general. So I thank you people for this award, and I promise you that someday, very soon, Africa will be great again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
My advice to, first of all, before I give the advice, I need to address the Nigerian youth, the African youth. Um, in as much as the system has brought the African youth to the position they are today, as we speak, they will tell you that education is scam. Education, without education, you can be who you want to be. They just believe that money takes place of education. So once you have money, that's all. You are being educated because you want to make money. That's the way they see it. But it's totally wrong. How do you reconcile a young boy of 17 years buying a laptop, and the next few months he buys a Toyota Venza and he thinks he has made money? So education is rubbish. For the girl child, for the girl youth, you just believe that I need to have the right figures in right places. Some of them even pay so much money to go and remodel what God has created, just because they feel that once you have this figure, you start driving Benz, you start buying houses, you start. So what do? What is the value of education? What is the value of that money that is in your hand? You don't actually know the value of that money. One, for the boy child, that money is someone's sweat, is someone's money that you swindled, and you are not burning it here. The person is out there thinking that he's dealing with a serious-minded person, not knowing that he's being defrauded. Then for the girl youth, you don't see the value of that money because they will keep remaining in that situation at the beck and call of those who can pay the bills. It doesn't give you the quality of life that you desire. There's no fulfillment in such wealth, in such money. There is dignity in labor. And for you to have good labor, you must be educated. You must be equipped to be able to manage the little resources that will come your way, that will spring into something else. Some of us didn't start today. We have been there over years. But when today youth sees me, oh, is that not the kind of Mercedes that the president is driving? Is what the man is driving? You don't know how far he has come. He has worked hard, but he wants to drive that car immediately. So you can see the difference. You want to live the life I am living, or someone who has been able to sustain himself, the life he's living. They want to live that life when they don't have a root. When you ask them, what do you do for a living? They can't even tell you. But you've come to my office today. From downstairs to the second floor you can see that someone is doing business. There's an office here. There's a serious human being sitting up there. That is labor built up over time, over years. And the foundation is education. So my advice to the African youth is to forget about the fancy of what they see as wealth today. Is a fast lane. And any vehicle that is moving on the fast lane without good brakes will surely end up in destruction, in an accident that will either take the life or end them up in prisons, or you can see a hush puppy and all that. Where is the fast lane today? In the prison yard. Is it still traveling from one country to another for breakfast? No more. It's in the prison yard. So that is where fast lane leads you to. Forget about what your friend is driving. Forget about how your girlfriend is looking. If he buys 18 inches hair or 20 something inches hair, if you can braid your hair, you look beautiful. But the most important part of it is for the African youth to be on the platform of leadership. You must change your mindset from immediate gratification. You must change your mindset from what is in it for me. You must change your mindset from this is my leader. They must look at the credibility of anybody seeking to run for an office, the background of that person, the mindset of that person, and the vision he has to liberate the youth from the position they are today. Then they should support that. There is nothing wrong if you have a gift. If a politician brings money to you, it's a gift. Collect it, eat it. They cannot take it back from you. But that should not reflect your mindset for voting. Vote the right choice into office. And there will be an enabling environment for direct foreign investment to come in. There will be an enabling environment for growth to come in. And when there is peace, when there is employment, there will be peace. Armed robbery will reduce, Yahoo will reduce, this will reduce, because there is job security in the system. So the youth have the ace. The youth have the ace to ensure that we have good leaders in Africa, and we have good leaders in Nigeria, that we have good representatives in the National Assembly, in the regional assemblies, in the state assemblies, even at the local government, at the grassroots level. There is still governance there. In fact, it starts from that point. So if you are not able to function well as a councillor, you cannot function well as a local government chairman. You cannot function well as an assembly member or function well as a governor. So you must have that quality for you to hold these offices. And we have a lot of people with such qualities. But those that sees governance as rule, as do or die affair, and not service to the people, we never allow them to see daylight. But then it still boils down to the youth. In an electioneering process, the youth is the one that carried ballot box. The youth is the one that killed perceived enemy. The youth is the youth corps that cooperate with party agents. Party agents are youth. Those that change figures of election, they are youth. The security, they are youth. Everybody that consigns electioneering process, they are all youths. So if the youth wake up and say that today we will do the right thing, we'll have good governance in Nigeria and Africa.
Thank you.